Hey guys, Brexis here, and I'm going to be playing some SpaceEngine. So, are you guys ready for it? I just spent the last 40 minutes recording a video that totally failed and did bad stuff. I'm pinning NVE and C for this issue, so what I'm doing now is I'm actually recording straight off the CPU, so hopefully the quality is a little bit better, because NVE and C is a little bit, like, it degrades the quality a little bit. But the other problem with this is I'm using my CPU now, so maybe the game won't run as good. I don't know. We'll find out. So let's go ahead and visit the first suggestion, which is from Carrie Selenick. Selesnik? Maybe Selesnik. And he wants me to visit this location, which the first time I recorded this did not copy paste properly. Thank God I did, because as you can tell, this is a very, very long ID. So let's go. And here we are. We have an Oceania, which I've already visited before, and I already know is incredibly hot. In fact, it is sitting at 1300 degrees Celsius, while its little friend here, that is orbiting around it, or orbiting each other rather, is 1000 degrees Celsius. This one has quite a bit of a greenhouse effect, probably because it's mostly H2O, carbon dioxide, and sulfur. The thing is, those three chemicals actually do have an extreme greenhouse effect, and that is what's causing that. But the atmosphere is not incredibly thick, as you can tell. This one confused me, because why would there be a liquid ocean on this planet if it's this hot? Because we do have a liquid ocean here, which just strikes me as very, very odd for a planet that is sitting at 1300 degrees Celsius. So, very weird. And then we have this desert here, which is also quite hot and has quite a bit of a greenhouse effect. The atmosphere doesn't appear to be too thick. You can see the Oceania over there just kind of glooming in a giant red ball. The next confusing thing about this is look at the semi-major axis. We're sitting at 0.6 astronomical units. I don't see why these planets would be this hot, because the parenting star is actually a red dwarf. So we have a red dwarf heating these planets to this temperature. It's kind of confusing. And 0.6 astronomical units is pretty far for a red dwarf to actually heat up a planet that much. In fact, I think even the planets that are like closer in the system. Is this the correct one? Yeah, I think so. Like this one. This one's quite a bit closer, and it's cold. It's negative 94 degrees. So I don't know why those two are actually heated up like that. I guess tidal shift? I guess, yeah, just the tidal forces are heating up these two planets because they're that close to each other. Maybe that's it. Yeah, very odd. And these two are just orbiting around each other. Anyways, yeah, cool little system. Good suggestion. And yeah, if you guys want to visit it, you can type in that very, very long ID right there in the corner. That I had to type out on the first recording because copy paste was not working. Anyways, we got another one called Jeebus M9 from This Is Not Interesting, but the first time I tried to load it, it did not load. He's saying it's a star that's actually bigger than UY Scatai, and it's actually visible from another galaxy. Yeah, like I said, does not load. Nothing there. I don't know why it's not loading. I tried Google searching, I've never heard of it. Couldn't find it. So maybe it's a mod? I don't know. Yeah. Let's go ahead and move on to the next suggestion, which is from AAV. Let's try to copy paste it in. He wants me to visit HIP 32667, which I do think I've visited before. And here we go. Saying is, well, while the orbits of the last binary system you visited do coverage more, this is because they're much bigger than mine, HIP 32667. The mass difference between these planets is about 5%, or between those planets is about 5%, while mine is about 0.5%. I don't actually see that. I see a mass difference of... Whoops, clicked on the wrong thing. Okay, so the mass is 0.0072, while the tiny planet here is 0.00048. So that's a significant difference. That is not 0.5%. Wouldn't 0.5% mean they're actually very similar planets? And you're talking about difference, right? So, yeah. But what's interesting is the orbits on these planets. It's technically a dual planetary system because that orbit, that central point of mass, is outside of this planet. So, one thing that this does actually remind me of is a very familiar little system we know of, and it is Pluto and Ceres. Ceres, Charon. So let's go ahead and visit that. And we are not too far from it, in fact. And here's Pluto and Charon. They orbit very, very similar to these two planets, as you can tell right there. So, yeah, I'm not sure what the point you're trying to make here is. Maybe that smaller dwarf planets can orbit closer to each other, is what you're saying? I'm not too sure. Or are you saying that they can orbit like a further distance from each other, maybe? I don't know. I'm not sure what the point you're trying to make is. If you could explain a little bit better, definitely do. Now, Neff Diggity Dog wants me to visit the 666... Oh, wait, no. Yeah, he wants me to visit the 666 galaxy, so let's go ahead and visit that. So this should be the 666 galaxy. So let's go ahead and pay a visit. And here we are. Looks like we have a spiral galaxy here. And it doesn't look very satanic. Let's go ahead and visit the black hole. Okay, black hole's taking up my screen. Okay. While the black hole does look quite hellish, it does not look like a pentagram or anything like that. So, nothing too interesting going on in the 666 galaxy. Should I visit that dank 420 galaxy or the 69th galaxy or something? Maybe that would yield a result. Okay, so if I hit F2 here, have the black hole selected, it looks like. There we go. I have the black hole selected now. And what do we got here? We have a white dwarf. Hello, white dwarf. Lovely accretion disk you have today. And yeah, I don't know what would be very different in this galaxy. I mean, obviously we're going to find standard systems like this one over here, which just has our typical planets that we normally see. Over here we have a large gas giant with a lovely ice world. Let's go ahead and zoom into that and see what we can spot from the sky. Does not appear we have any atmosphere around this ice world, of course. And there's our giant gas giant. Not too sure what to actually visit around here. We got a very large frozen gas giant orbiting around these stars right here. And does it have... Yeah, it actually has quite a few moons, including this large desert over here. So let's go ahead and zoom into this. And there's our parent gas giant in the thick cloud layer. And yeah, this is the 666 galaxy. If you guys want to visit it, the ID for it is right here in my little search bar. Now we do have one from This Is Not Interesting. He's telling me to go to the star called WISE J085510, and he's saying it is very, very cold. So let's go ahead and pay a visit to it. I think this is the correct ID, so let's go ahead and pay a visit. And we have a brown dwarf. IV. So maybe this is a brown dwarf that gained its mass, got a lot of heat, and then cooled down over time. So it's a very cool brown dwarf sitting at 25 degrees Celsius. And it's not technically a star, while the game classifies it as a star. Brown dwarfs are not stars, they're the transition between a gas giant and a star. Basically, this is a failed star, it has not achieved fusion. And if I hit F2 here, we can see a lot of other planets, mostly ice worlds and Selenas. These would essentially be the moons around this gas giant right here. Obviously, there's not really too much to see. I do have my auroras turned up, so that's kind of bright, but whatever, that's perfectly fine. So yeah, there's not too much to actually see here, obviously, because it's just pitch black. I don't know how to actually turn up the luminosity. People keep saying there's a way you can turn up luminosity and see planets like this, but I'm not really too interested in doing that anyways. But yeah, very cool brown dwarf. And what's cool about this brown dwarf, it's actually only sitting at like 7 light years from our sun. If I select our sun, there it is, 7.53 light years away. Let's go ahead and visit our sun real quick. And hello, sun. The next one is from Quinn Alexander, which if I recall, last time I tried to visit this, it would not load, sadly. Let's go ahead and give it another shot, though. Okay, so Quinn Alexander. This ID is not actually loading for me. Double check and make sure this is correct. This is definitely exactly what you typed into the comments section. Yes, it is. And yeah, for some reason, I cannot visit this. It's not loading. I have a bit of a theory with this. You were saying it is at the edge of the universe. This game is generated on a seed. So the random stars, planets, and other objects are generated based on a seed. Every client has the same seed, but can possibly generate slightly differently, depending on how many variables there are. So maybe once you get to like the outskirts of the universe, things are not consistent across clients. I could be wrong about that. OBS is going to be the encoding overloaded message, so hopefully that means that this is not falling apart. And yeah. I'm sorry, I'm going to have to skip your suggestion today, but let's go over to the next one from Derp Sauce Gaming and try to paste it, and hopefully it pastes. No, of course it doesn't. One moment. Here we go. And it is a cold gas giant. I've already visited this one, and as you can tell as we pass through, we are in a really, really beautiful galaxy. You can see little small like clouds of the galaxy just sitting on the outskirts, but let's go back in there. This lovely French vanilla caramel gas giant. Absolutely beautiful. And would go great in your morning coffee and or hot chocolate. So let's go ahead and check out this gas giant's moons, which I found very interesting. Starting with this very similar looking gas giant right here. Sitting at a diameter of 34,000 kilometers. And right next to it is another very large moon. This cold desert here, sitting at a diameter of, let's see, 14,000. So about half the size of this gas giant. Yeah. And we have some smaller moons next to it. But yeah, we have some lovely large worlds here. This is kind of our generic blue and purple desert that or pink desert that we're pretty accustomed to seeing, with some beautiful snow mountains. Not eroded because it is a desert, and yeah, very interesting. See if we can go to this desert over here, which I found a little bit cooler, mainly because it has a lovely bronze sheen to it. And I thought this was really awesome when I first saw it. And you can see it's lovely, similar bronze gas giant up there. And if we come over to the night side of the planet, kind of has a reddish atmosphere at night, as you can tell. So if I land here, all the stars and everything on the horizon is going to have kind of a red shift to it. So, very cool. And we have another not gas giant, but desert over here. A lot of deserts in varying temperatures. And there's our planet, and we land right here. We have the parenting planet as viewed from this desert. Against the aurora effect over there. And we're actually sitting in a crater right now, next to a volcano. So, very cool. I really like this gas giant system. And the gas giant itself, of course, has some lovely, very thick rings. But what was not only interesting was, if I go back here, I think, I could be wrong, I might be thinking of a different system that I visited. Ah, yes, over here we have a star with a bunch of other, like, gas giants and stuff, including this little tiny cold Titan here, which has a lovely, kind of vibrant blue and pink color, rather than, like, the adult one that we're used to seeing. And it looks like we have this volcano here spewing out whipped cream. And yeah, just a lovely looking Titan with a kind of very Earth-like atmosphere. Not in composition, but just in color in general. But everything has like that sharp, really very blue fog to it. And you can see there's like this ice texture here that's kind of exclusive to Titans mostly. And yeah, I just think Titans are really cool planets. Got some lovely erosion on these hills here. There's parenting star. Parenting stars. And if you come around here, you can see that the planet is a little bit illuminated by its little ice world moon over there. And check out that color. That's the one cool thing about Titans is their sunsets and stuff always have like the coolest colors. So yeah, let's go ahead and move on to the next suggestion. So I have a comment here from 1988 Tessie saying, "Great video, my kids love it too." They were all spinning around the room. He's referring to my 360-degree video, not the one that I uploaded yesterday, but the one the day before. Yeah, I like those videos. I think they're cool, nice little projects. What I think is cool about them is other people kind of get a chance, if they can't actually run the game, to kind of explore the game the same way that I do, actually being able to pan around. In my, what's it called? Beauty of Space Engine 4 video, the part 4 one, that is 360 and 4K. I tried to, in like every scene, find a view where you could see multiple objects in the sky. So every time you'd pan around, you would find something more than just, like the world that I'm sitting on, for example. Like a lot of the views will have galaxies and stuff just kind of in the night sky and all that, and somebody's taken off in their car. And yeah, basically every time you'd pan around, you'd find something like a gas giant in the sky, or a moon or something, or a giant galaxy taking up the entire night sky. Things like that. I'd try to make it to where there's always something to look at, in whatever direction you look. The only exclusion to that maybe being the Saturn part, but I thought the Saturn part was awesome because you're like sitting right above Saturn's ring. And if you turn around, you can see like Barnard's Loop and all that, of course. And yeah, I thought that was a really cool video. Um, I do plan to do a lot more of those. Probably not as frequently, because I do want to try to keep, my regular videos and stuff, because obviously, yeah. But, yeah, it's just one thing I feel like should be around. It's a lot more 4K content, mainly because I know 4K is like the minority of people, but I think having more content for 4K is just better in general, because I feel like it is going to actually be the next new standard and all that. I know the majority of people are on 1080p, and that's why I do most of these videos in 1080p. But I'd like to do like all my little project videos and stuff in 4K, like those Beauty of Space Engine ones, for example. And for other gameplay and stuff, like if I'm playing like a Let's Play or something like that, I try to keep it 1080p 60 FPS, or 720p 60 FPS, because that's more important there. Space Engine, I don't think 60 FPS is too necessary. It's a lot more smoother, but I think 30 FPS is acceptable. Anyways, we have one more suggestion, and that is from Derp Sauce Gaming, who wants me to visit a planet and its moon. Now, I know Derp Sauce Gaming lately has had an addiction to dual planetary systems, so I can only assume what this is going to be. So let's go ahead and jump right in. Oh, it's in the same system. Okay. And it looks like we have a Terra here with the generic purplish-blue landscape that we're accustomed to seeing on Terras, as it seems like a majority of them do generate with this type of terrain. And we have a lovely, large, nicely eroded mountain here. But I think that texture is a little bit tiled, as you can see those stripes running down the side of it. Huh, that's a bit weird. And it looks like we have, are those snow caps, or is that desert? Can't really tell. I think that's just kind of the desert texture going on there. And yeah, these mountains generated really nicely. Nice and beautiful. Except for these weird stripes running down it. Kind of makes them a little bit unique, though. And over here we have our other friend, which is, again, another planet. And looking at that, it looks almost like an Oceania. And, again, we actually have slight erosion on these hills, which is kind of unusual for a desert. And check that out. We have the root texture here, but this desert, I don't think, has any life on it. So what's up with that? Is that part of the rocks? Is that rock texture? Weird. And I kind of like the way this desert looks. It has a really nice fog layer to it, I would say. Nice kind of white, grayish fog. As we come around, it looks like we're going to have a red atmosphere at night. We certainly do, and there's the parenting Terra there. Or not parenting, but I guess sister planet, you would say. If I could touch down right here. Yeah, that looks pretty cool. Let's close all of this. Maybe that'll be our thumbnail? Possibly. Or maybe this. Maybe if I hit play. Oh, yeah, that's right, we're not going to orbit around it, we're totally locked with it. That's right. If I land right here and look up at the Terra, that could potentially be it. Or maybe I can go to a darker area. Get some lovely orange sunset on these mountains, and then look up at this Terra. And maybe that can be it. Maybe decrease the field of view or increase the field of view. One of these will be the thumbnail, I'm sure of that, though. Kind of a nice view. And if we decrease our field of view so much that it's probably going to crash my game, we see all the fine little details on the Terra. Pretty awesome. You see a couple cyclones there, and you can see some mountainous regions over there. You can even see the little lines all over the mountains. I still think that's just a really cool way to view the planet. Is that the same hill we were just on, like, when we were over there? Not sure. Anyways, I think that is all the suggestions for the day. So, if you guys like the video, please leave it a like. And if you want to see more videos like this, please do subscribe. It really does help. And I will see you guys in the next one.